Tomorrow, the temple of Philae is the temple of Isis, which is the mother, the goddess of the mother. Okay, is the mother goddess, the energy of the mother from the skies. The temple of Philae, of Isis, is a temple related to the sacrum chakra, the womb, the energy of the mother, the gestation of the creation. So every time that we have gone to this temple, it was all about the mother receiving us in the womb, receiving information from the skies as the seeds to manifest them here on the matter. The next temple is Kom Ombo. The Temple of Kom Ombo was dedicated to the god of the god of darkness, Sobek. It was also dedicated to Horus, which is the light, but mainly for Sobek. The Temple of Sobek was dedicated to that darkness within us and how to handle this energy, these emotions, in order to be able to work with it. Okay, so you have to face your darkness, and that temple is the one that used to teach us how. So this temple, Kom Ombo, is the one in which we always worked with the energy of darkness, how to work with the energy of darkness. Okay, and it was the temple in which where we have learned about unconditional love the most. So obviously the dark ones were the ones that taught us the most about unconditional love in that temple. So the next temple is Edfu, and is the temple of the god of the sun, the god of light, which is Horus. So the temple of Edfu, of Horus, was the one that usually taught us about the sun, the energy of light, and how to become ourselves a sun ourselves, and how to manage the huge energy of light so we don't burn others and we don't create this heavy of gravity upon others. So they usually teach us how to work with the ego and how to manage the ego as a tool of growth. The next temple is Karnak, and some of you may ask, why are we not going to the Temple of Luxor? The Temple of Luxor is in the middle of the town Luxor, where the boat will be, but usually it's not a part of our initiatic path, because the masters said that that temple doesn't work with what we are working. So that's why I never go there. But some of you maybe feel the temple, so you can go, okay? So you can feel free to go to this temple, but you will have to ask to the guides, well, the physical guides, okay? Because the other guides from above, they say go to Karnak, okay? This temple is too big. Karnak is too big. It's like a small village. So you can get lost in the temple. So when we say 1 hour of meeting, think half an hour before. So the Temple of Karnak is the temple related to the body. It's a temple of the manifestation of the divine into the temple of the soul, which is our physical body. So when you walk through the temple, each one of the chambers represent an organism inside the body. So when you walk through, you kind of have to feel like if you are a cell moving along your body. Okay? So that's what the temple represents, is the divine manifestation. So this temple is not only for one god, it's for many. So like Amon-Ra, Sekhmet. So you can find many things from each one. The next temple that we will visit is Dendera, is in the small village of Dendera, which is the temple of the goddess Hathor, the goddess of love and astrology and astronomy. This temple is one of the most beautiful, I think, because it is still painted with the same colors of 2,500 years ago. It's amazing. So the Temple of Dendera, the goddess of love, is how to manifest the divinity on the matter, but not related to the one self, like in Karnak, with your own body, as a temple, but it actually means the unity between the feminine and the masculine to manifest a baby, basically, to bring heaven on earth. So the last temple we will visit is in the small village of Abydos, and in Abydos we won't have the private visit in the Temple of Seti I, but we will go behind it and we will visit the Temple of Osirian, okay, the Temple of Osirian, which is the only Atlantean temple that we will visit in the whole path, okay, and is a temple where you can find the flower of life in the wall. So the Temple of Abydos is where life emerges, is where the baby is born. So the temples of Philae, Kom Ombo, Edfu, and Dendera are not from Atlantean times, neither from Egyptian time. They are from the Greek-Roman time, because the Greek-Roman had paid to build the temples to honor the gods of Egypt. So you can find that because of the arts that you can see with all the colors, and also because the columns had the capitals very different from one another, like very artistic. Okay, that makes you know that they are not Egyptian; they are from the Greek Roman. So it's nice to know this, so you don't make any stories in your head. So in the Atlantean times, there was no temples like this, no hieroglyphics at all. That's Egyptian. So the energy of the initiatic path from Atlantean times is still on there, but the cultures have changed and the idea of the temple were changing constantly. The temples that really are Egyptian, that you can see, are the temples of Karnak, Luxor, whoever will visit it, Karnak, Luxor, and Abydos, the one that is on the top, which is the one made by Seti I. So they were made by pharaohs. Who are the brave people that has the courage to go to Abu Simbel? Have fun. For those who go there, remember, it's a temple of the Egyptian period, Ramses II. But for me, energetically, it represents the root chakra and the connection of feminine and masculine. But actually, the temple was moved from the original position, so it changed a lot of its energy. It's not the same. But personally, for others may not, but personally, for me, is a temple built by someone that was trying to compensate a small penis. But you know what you do, whatever. But it's exhausting to go there. That's why we don't go in this path, okay, in this trip. So try to rest a lot, okay, in the bus. So things to know about this path. So the reason why there are some history about this, the reason why we have Greek-Roman temples but they look like Egyptian is not because of spirituality, it's because of politics. In that time when Greece and Rome took power over the Nile, the population was so strong that they needed a way for the priests and priestesses to let the population know that in order to be peace, they are really good governors. And the Greek and the Roman, as you know, they had so many gods and goddesses that they didn't care to have a few more. So what they actually did was to finance the temples, so the people were happy. The priests and priestesses were happy, so all the population were happy that these new people were financing temples for their gods. So that made peace in the territory. Okay, that's why you find these Egyptian temples, but actually from the Greek and Roman times. You will see how the Egyptian temples are usually too much, like huge columns and huge things that with huge hieroglyphics everywhere. So you will notice that it's Egyptian because it's not delicate, it's like grotesque. And you will notice what is Atlantean because there's no hieroglyphics, nothing, all rock, huge rocks, and there's only one inscription, which is the flower of life. No hieroglyphics, anything. That's Atlantean. So what were doing the Egyptians with so many gods? because the initiatic path is related to different parts of only one thing, in the same way as for them were the gods. So there was only one god with different rays of light that expanded and created different options. So what they were doing were honoring the different aspects of only one god. So that's why they were polytheistics. It's not that they believed in many gods, but they honor the different aspects of the divine. So, for example, the first history, the most important one, is Isis and Osiris, which were couple. So we for sure have heard about the stories of these two couples, that maybe they were living people or living gods, or they have animal heads and these kind of things. But actually they were describing topics of the place, of the astronomy, of the territory. Like, for example, Isis is how the biggest star in the heavens was called, which is the star of Sirius. So Isis was Sirius, and the Nile was the spine, the axis of Osiris. So the axis of Osiris is the territory, the Nile, and Isis is in touch with it every summer when it appears back again, reflected in the Nile, bringing the summer, which is the light, that is Horus, their son. Okay, so the history of that marriage and that family is actually telling the story of this territory. So when the winter comes, the story says the darkness, Seth, takes over the territory of Osiris, the power, and cut Osiris in pieces and throw each one of the pieces along the Nile. So these different parts are the temples that we will visit along the Nile, okay, which are the chakras of Osiris. Horus is the one that brings the light. Horus is the light, which is the sun, bringing, fighting the night, the darkness, every day. Okay, so it's the sun. So, of course, the sun comes back once and again, but is protected by the mother Isis with the stars. That's why Hathor, which means the house of the light, is the protector of the sun during the night and keeps it with the stars. That's why Hathor is the goddess of love and also the goddess of astronomy and astrology. So we can see in the Temple of Dendera how the goddess of love has the face of a cow. It's like a fat woman with cow ears, okay? And you see the symbol of the cow everywhere in the temple because she was the cow. Why is the cow the mother of love? Why? Because in the ancient times, the villages, they said the cow is the animal that gives us everything. The cow is the one that helps us to survive. So it is because of the cow that we have life. That's why they said, if we have life because of the cow, maybe the creator of everything is a cow. So they put the symbolism of the cow in the cosmos, and they said that the universe was created by a cow walking through the skies and giving the milk to create the planets. So that's why they call it the Milky Way. Okay, the Milky Way comes from the ancient traditions that the cow was creating the galaxy. Okay, with the milk. Okay, so that's the origin. That's why you will see the stars and the cow protecting the stars. Okay, it's a very long story. So what Kom Ombo teaches the crocodile Sobek is that everything has a balance. There's no good, no bad, but everything is positive and negative. So we need both forces in order to create. They said, we have it inside within a lot of strong energy from the darkness that is hunger, being hungry, sleepy, thirsty. Well, all the different things that can make us feel reptilians, because we have our reptilian brain that is controlling the survival. So because of that is how we understand that it's the crocodile that decides who goes to hell and who goes to the heaven. That's a short story saying that if you don't know how to handle your emotions, you will be controlled by darkness. But if you instead of running away from your darkness and you know how to use them, so that's the right path to the life of light. So that's why in the entire path you find the crocodile being honored to find the axis of Osiris in the Nile. So the path that we will do basically says the mother put us in a womb to manifest the energy that is the energy of survival at first, because we are created in darkness in the womb. That takes us to Kom Ombo. We have to face that, and when we are born, we face the light. We start to learn about the ego. Who am I? In Edfu, to work with the self. And then in Karnak, what we work is the body, the potential that we have, to know how to use what we are in this life. And once we know that, we can go to Dendera, which is the sharing this potential with others, with love, in order to manifest something new. And that new is born in Abydos. Okay, so as you see, this is the whole path, initiatic path of the being. So of course that this short path is the one that prepares you to be a human here and now with your own potential, to live this life fully, plenty. But if you are looking for the spiritual path, you have to keep going the path to the north where the pyramids are. So the pyramids prepare you for the higher information. So we had already worked with the spiritual level in the pyramids, working with the network. So that's why we came back here to the temples to say we are downloading heaven and earth. So thank you for helping us to do that. And we keep the energy of the body here and now, okay, to manifest that heaven here. Okay, so that would be thanking the path.